Well, I'm a little bit late getting this part done, the introduction. Quite honestly, it's because I've been busy and I haven't seen the footage I'm going to use, so I will, from back in the day, so I will actually have to trim off what I can. But this is the tape we use, which is a mastic tape. It's sticky, mildly sticky, and it has holes in it, so it holds the sheetrock compound really well. They make a non-mastic type of that as well. I think you can find sometimes. No special tools really. This is the type of scraper I'm talking about. It's got a little duck bill tipping down. I use this to flatten off the lumps on the raw gypboard interior after you take one of these and just score it so that you have the tape width. It's not real hard. You just got to cut that down. And the reason you would do this, the reason I did this, quite honestly, the sun's a little bit in my eyes. The reason to do this is because I'm trimming around a window and there's a void there, and if I just took two pieces of 1/2-inch sheetrock and put them together and then put a little base of mud and then a piece of paper tape and then some more mud to kind of shape over that, you can end up with a little bit of a lump when you're trying to put your trim up. Now sometimes we still have those little lumps on the sideboards where we've laid the board horizontal. We got two of them standing that way and we can get a little bit of a bump there, but in that case we've got a much wider area to have that lump kind of roll so that we don't really notice that it's pooching out maybe just a little bit. So this is just a different type of fix. I may repeat myself. I'll do my best to cut out some of the duplicate conversations, but let's go see what that works, because this is a little different technique. First one I showed you was fixing gouges and holes. This one is just kind of fixing a gap in the window without making it too tall. Okay, I've got a little patch job for a paint I got to take care of. And you see how this top edge of that board is all crooked? That's because people don't use saws anymore to cut out holes. They use Dremel tools. And they don't cut a straight line. But really, you see this piece, this is just how much gap was left in there. Now, when we trim around the window, usually there's a piece of wood that comes up here, but we need something solid for it to set against, else there's a void and the wood can warp and change over time. When we basically picture frame it, or if we put a sill underneath it. None of my windows in this house have sills, so I won't be doing that, but it's just a gap that has to be filled. Now you see this original ragged line. Now what we've done here and what I'm going to do to fix this, see, this is just the edge of a board. So it's a little bit thinner, so it actually lays up in here. This piece, come out here with a box cutter, scribe you a line up underneath, big enough for the tape to go in. Then you cut that out. Take a little bit of time. I just use a little wood chisel. Take that paper off, because what we want to do is we want to get a little bit of a gap. See that? It's not deep, but just enough of a gap right there for the mud, so that we don't end up having a big piece come in here. We have to mud around the entire window to get it to lay flat, because again, we're going to put trim around it. We don't want to bulge right there. So what I'll do is I've got this piece cut and I've got a little bit of a gap here on purpose, a little bit ragged, but we'll take a little bit of quick set and we'll set right on top of this piece before we put this filler in. Then we'll take what was called a mesh tape. This is what I'm going to use. See, it's a fiberglass tape. It's shaped like a mesh, and it's a little bit sticky. It doesn't stick so good. It sticks good to the paper, but it won't stick as good to that because of the dust. And we'll put that down on top of that little bit of mud that we just want to have in there as a little bit of solid behind here, because this you can push the mud through that screen as you mud it up along that line, and that'll make it set quicker. And of course I can come across here and be painting in about 2 hours. Okay, now I'm not as good as a sheetrock man, but I've narrowed that gap around the window so that at the bottom, so that I'll have something solid there for the frame, the little window picture frame to go around it. So it'll have something for it to sit on without having a huge gap of something I got to fill with caulk that shrinks over time. So it'll do what I intend it to do. Not as good as sheetrock man, But I'm here and I get this done, get it underway before next time I see him. And there we have no lumps, no bumps.